tradition of doing tags that no one tagged me in, I'm going to be doing the Doctor Who tag. This was created by the Mass Book Lover, and I saw it over on Novels and Nonsense. I will link them both below in the description. I have watched the entire series of Doctor Who one time exactly. I'm currently in the middle of my first rewatch for SnarkSquad because we are recapping the series. This entire project has been interesting to say the least because while having the full context of the story has made some early things super interesting, there are also some plot issues and production things that are really painful to deal with in the beginnings. I still love the series as a whole, big time fan, always will be, because these characters are forever some of my favorites. So when I saw this tag, I thought it was super fitting and that I would, you know, tag myself. Let's get to it. First up is Daleks. My shirt has a Dalek on it. I don't know if you can see that. Daleks, a villain you can't get rid of. Christian Grey from the 50 Shades of Grey series, and I can't get rid of him because most people think he's a romantic lead and not a villain. The Weeping Angel's a backstabbing character. I'm choosing Marissa Coulter from His Dark Materials series. Seriously, you don't even know who she's backstabbing half of the time. She flops around from trying to protect Lyra, to trying to capture Lyra, who is her daughter, to trying to protect Lyra by capturing her. She betrays the church. She betrays Lyra's father. She's just a chronic backstabber, and she's really, really good at it. Like, people keep believing her. Cybermen, a villain that believes what he or she is doing is right. This one was a little bit difficult for me. Like, I feel like I should know so much more of these, but while I was thinking, I couldn't come up with many. I'm gonna go with the Lord Ruler in The Final Empire, which is the first book of the Mistborn trilogy, I believe. I haven't read the rest of the series because I struggled big time just getting through the first book. But in the first book, it is revealed that what he does, he's trying to do because he feels like he's saving the world. I had issues with the Lord Ruler in general just because of the way that it was kind of presented in the first book, like without answers, like why is this person terrible? But this was such a long book and it just kept going and going and going. I felt super dissatisfied. That was a sidebar. Rose, a character you can't help but miss. Pretty sure Novels and Nonsense gave the same answer, but I'm gonna copy her. Sirius Black. I cannot even describe how much he grew in my feelings over the course of what's basically a book. Martha, a character who is best at what he or she does. I'm picking Ender from the Ender Quintet by Orson Scott Card. Of course, being me, this is not probably a surprise to anybody. I've only read the first book in the quintet, and that is Ender's Game. If someone were just to talk to me about what was in that book, like the battle game details, I would probably fall asleep. But somehow, in the book, it's so engaging. It was so interesting to read about. It was gripping and fun to read, which is really awkward to say when you think about the revelation that comes at the end of that book. And I think that's why it was so effective. It's because you're so engrossed in the battle game details that when the revelation comes, it's like a shot in the heart. I felt for Ender throughout the whole book and for what it meant for him to be the best at these war games. Like, damn, like, yay for being the best, but boo for being the best at that. Donna, a character you can't help but love. So true. I love Donna. I'm picking Verity from Codename Verity. I actually own that one. I think the reason this book was so devastating was because I love Verity and I loved everything, and then everything was terrible. People will tell you that you can't know much about this book for it to be effective, like I shouldn't spoil you or tell you anything else really about this, but I'm pretty sure I just wrote the back of the book blurb. First you love everything, and then everything is terrible. Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wine. Someone hire me. Amy and Rory, your all-time OTP. Too hard, but I did recently do a Segway Magic video about my favorite and least favorite romantic couples, so you can check that out. For the purposes of this video, I will say Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. Clara, a character who is always saving the day. I'm choosing Gregor from the Underland Chronicles by Suzanne Collins. I love this middle grade series and I love Gregor, and I just picked it up last year. The best thing about Gregor is that he's super brave, and whether he realizes it in the moment or not, he always saves the day by doing what he believes is right. River Song, a character that changes his or her destiny. I'm not sure I would say that that's what River Song does, but again, I've only watched it once, and her storyline is actually one that I'm looking forward to rewatching as well, only because there are so many different components to it that I feel like you can't grasp the entire thing in one watch. For this, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Landline by Rainbow Rowell. Georgie McCool gets to mess with time in a very River-esque way, and she gets to have conversations with her husband when back in time when he was just her boyfriend. Those conversations I feel like certainly had an effect on the way that her life carries forth from that moment. And finally, The Doctor. A character who has everything you love and more. If you asked me this question next month, I'm pretty sure my answer would have changed, but right now the answer is probably Jane Eyre, just because she's such a steadfast, honest, and loyal character, but she's not completely unflawed. Backup answer, since I've talked so much about Jane Eyre recently, is Lucy Pevensey from the Chronicles of Narnia. She is nearly a walking cliche of everything that is good, pure, and honest in the world, and I love her for it. So there you have it, my Doctor Who tag. I don't actually know who watches Doctor Who on the booktube, but I would love to hear some of your answers to this tag. You can leave those in the comments here or make your own video. We do what we want on the internet. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I will see you later. Just because she's such a steadfast... bug.